Hello, this is Simone, and today I want to do a bit of a talk video where I tell you what's wrong with me and my planner. I am struggling right now using this, and it breaks my heart because I love the size, I love the way it is set up, I love the tiny pages. I love how cute it looks, but I have two problems at the moment with this. I'm really tired of decorating and setting up my planner every month. This is, well, you don't really have to do that every month. However, I'm on the Cocoa Daisy planner team, and sharing current planner stuff with a planner that is not current doesn't make sense. So that's the first thing that I'm just right now not enjoying. And even though I have a routine and I can do it, it still takes time that I would rather spend journaling, scrapbooking, creating, doing other things. The other thing is that, which goes with the same thing, is that I can't really easily use this just like that. I have to add date stickers, I have to add the day of the week to know where I am. Other than that, it is quite nice. I really like the sections that I have behind the dated pages. I have my grocery guide, I have a meal plan, I have lists, things that I need to do, wish lists. The size works really well for these things, most of them. I have crafting ideas that I jot down here, and I have a spending tracker and school information for my sons. I have this notepad in the back, and it is tiny. I can just chuck it into my bag and take it along, and my brain is in there. So that is what I love about it. But what I also don't like, besides the fact that I have to set it up every month, is that at the moment this isn't working for me anymore. So I use this as a day on 2 pages. This is a weekend where I don't do that, but usually I use this as a day. I have a scheduled page right here. I can add in appointments, things where I have to pick up my kids, activities, all the things. I can plan out my day. I used to add the things that I have to do right here. And then I kept track of things down here that I wrote out every day. Now, I put them here because I tried to have a tracking page somewhere else, which didn't work because I'm just not capable of flipping to 5 or 6 different pages every day. If you are, that's great. I'm just not like that. And so I started adding this to my daily pages every day in order to remind me that I have to do them, but also to see if I'm actually doing them and checking the boxes off. So that's that. Then I started not really making use of the to-do pages here. I kind of, on the Mondays, well, not this one, that was Labor Day, but usually at the start of the week, I would sit down and write out a list of things that I needed to do. And then it would sit there on the first day of the week, and it was way too overwhelming because I definitely couldn't get this done on that day. And then I moved it along every day of the week, rewriting my to-dos every day. which kind of feels redundant. Here comes this. This is a sticky note that I started 2 weeks ago. I started doing this where I would write out all the things that I would have to do during the week that weren't specific for a certain day or date specific. And then I would move the to-do list along in my planner, covering up part of the things that were already on the page. So now, what is this? I'm actually not utilizing this page, and I'm also not really tracking these things by rewriting the same words each and every day. Doesn't really make sense. So I knew that I wasn't really digging the setting up thing anymore and that I needed a change. What I decided to do then was order a Hobonichi for 2019 because this wasn't really on the surface at the moment. I was thinking about maybe I would have daily pages where I have my schedule right here and my to-do list right there. I wasn't really sure if that was the right thing to do because I tried using a Hobonichi as a planner last year, and what really stood out to me, I had to write really tiny, and I wouldn't really fit that much on the scheduled place here because the boxes are 3 millimeters by 3 millimeters. Like here, when I do half an hour segment or something like that, it's really tiny. So when I would add all the things of my whole family, this would be way too small. So what I thought then was that maybe if I purchased a weekly insert, I have it right here because I received my Hobonichi yesterday, and I'm actually going to sell all of this. If you're interested, please check on Instagram or drop me a comment below because I'm trying to sell the things that I'm not going to use. So what I thought I was going to do was use this weekly insert. It's not an insert, it's a notebook, to keep track of the schedules of my family. Just using a pen and marking with different colors. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that would be really perfect for each one of us. We're 5. So each one of us gets one line, and I could mark with a pen who's when, maybe not where, but who has something to do somewhere. Which then made me think about the problem of me looking at more than one page, right? I then thought maybe I should get the A5 size because I had just recently purchased this Rhodia dot grid notebook, which I love, and I realized, well, A5 size isn't that big. I had always, because I haven't really used A5 in a very long time, I was under the impression that it was this huge chunk of a book. Maybe because my very, very first planner when I came here to the US was a Happy Planner. And somehow, which is bigger, and it also has these clunky, big discs here, somehow I connected the Happy Planner with A5, which is not true. So I got this and I thought, well, A5 isn't really that big. It's nice. And my handwriting, as you can see, is also not that small. If I write normal, this is my handwriting. So it fits into these dots, into this grid of the A5 dot grid quite well. I can fill out a page and I don't have to write small when I'm actually enjoying writing in this size more. Then I started thinking, okay, the Hobonichi Cousin, which is a daily plus a weekly planner. a weekly planner would be really perfect. I could mark out my, like in this one, I could, if it was roomy enough, I could have blocks, things blocked, times blocked out. I could mark where I have to pick up someone. I could schedule all my to-dos in between. And then I started looking. And then I found the Jibun Techo, which is only a weekly planner, because I thought, if I'm just using the weeklies, what would I use the daily pages for? Giving the fact that I'm not looking at more than one spread per day, either one of them, the weekly spread or the daily spread, would probably get neglected. And given the fact that I see more than just one day on a weekly spread, it would probably be the daily spread. I saw a really, really great video that I will link down below of someone who is using the Hobonichi Cousin as a weekly planner plus a bullet journal, and use it like I am using this Rhodia notebook for all different kinds of notes. Doesn't like a bullet journal, just not the planning part of it, where she just writes down notes that when she watches a documentary, when she listens to a podcast, when she reads a book, when she does research, sometimes just spilling her heart out on the pages, which I thought was fabulous. However, I had already placed my Hobonichi Techo order, and I'm also didn't know if I needed really all those pages, 365, since it's a daily planner, right? So what I then also found, and I mentioned it before, was the Jibun Techo. And I never really thought I was happy in a weekly spread, because I'm going to show this to you here right now too. I have this notebook. Where is the other part? So I can show you an empty spread from the Traveler's Company, or yeah, it's Traveler's Company, I think. And I really, when I do journaling, I really wanted to use this for my journaling for the day, but that is way too tiny for my handwriting. I usually start, when I start journaling for the first day, I spread out over 2 days, and when it's Wednesday, I'm mostly covering all of this, and Thursday, Friday, and Sunday go over here. So the columns were way too small. That's what I'm trying to say. It also because there's this huge thing over here that doesn't really, that takes away from the space of the paper. And so I was really hesitant because I was afraid the columns were too small. So that being said, when I looked at the, Jibun Techo, what I really liked was all the things that you get with it. The lists, the book recommendations. I'm trying to do a reading journal, which is really going very badly because I don't really have time, but writing down the title and maybe just saying if I liked it or not, that would work really well. I'm going to link the Jibun Techo in the description box below, because you can, and there's so many videos out there. Go ahead and search for it. But what I'm most interested, all the things around it are really great and I like what I see, but what I'm really interested in is how would a week look like? I measured it out, and the Jibun Techo is a tiny bit slimmer than A5. It is a bit taller, which I don't understand. They call it A5 slim, but then it's a bit bigger. So, and slim, that's just this tiny sliver. It's almost A5. So I divided the width of the pages by 4 because this is the basic layout it has, and this is about the width of one of the columns. And I actually brought this up here to compare it and see how much wider. Yeah, it's almost, if I'm just eyeballing it, it's probably just 1 centimeter, but that does it obviously do for me. So this is 2.6 and one column here is 3.5 almost. This is definitely not how the Jibun Techo looks like, and I'm not sure if the columns are a bit different, but what the basic is here. So the Jibun Techo has a timeline here. There's a little bit of room down here, I think. Then there's space for meals and for other things that you could keep track down here in a section that is maybe this big. There is I think there is a monthly planner, monthly calendar up here, and then there's a whole list for to-dos. Down here, I just added a sticker. I think it goes down all the way. I'm not really sure. I haven't really looked at it because I would definitely make it mine, as it usually goes with planners. And it starts at, I think, midnight and goes to midnight. It has timed schedule here. And right now, I feel this would be perfect. I can add my meal planning down here. This is the Cocoa Daisy Planner Challenge prompts. I can track if I'm posting to Instagram, if I'm doing my job, whatever else I need to do. I can use post-it notes to see it for the, I don't have to use them around. I could put this someplace else if I wanted to, but this way I can see my whole week at one glance and see how much time I have during the day. If there is stuff that needs to be blocked out. Today I should actually add filming here. I wasn't sure if that's what this day was going to be, but yeah, it is filming day today. So this looks very promising, and I have to admit I already went ahead and ordered one from Amazon. It will be here in about 2 weeks, and yeah, I think that is where I'm going to go for 2019. I'm super sad that I'm not using this anymore. I'm thinking about a way I could use it for memory keeping. If you remember, I think I'm going to link the flip through down in the description box below. I used these pages, these divided pages, for memory keeping, and I loved it. So I might be still using this. I might be using a traveler's notebook that is that size. Who knows? Maybe I'll be going back to this when I'm ready to be more creative again. But right now, this is where I'm at. So, yeah, that was, I don't know, a long video. Well, almost 20 minutes. Please let me know your thoughts in the description box below. I really like this so much that I already went ahead and drew out next week just to see if and how I like it. I can add to this list, and then I can move this over here. Yeah, and even if I do have other lists, if I do have other lists in here, since the A5 is so tiny, no, it's not tiny, but since this is so small, I could use the weekly planner, the Jibun Techo, and then have my monthly brain dump in this journal, so I can put it side by side when I start deciding. I could add my meal planner in here, or I could use another page in the Jibun Techo. I don't know yet how that actually looks like, but for meal planning, I love to see the month at a glance. I could transfer, again, these kinds of lists, the school information for my sons, I could have in here. A spending tracker I could definitely have in here. And I could even use this as a template to create this in here. Ideas for layouts and stuff I have in a different planner. I could just put it on a post-it and transfer it at the end of the month. For the meals, wish lists and stuff is easy to transfer. It doesn't matter, the size doesn't really matter. I already have this list in my, here, all the way up front, I think. I don't know where. Nope, not here. Already have this list in here. My weekly routine doesn't change. I could just paste it in here if I really like it that much. And for the meals and meal planning, this could also just be on 1 or 2 pages. So even though it's cute and tiny and I like it a lot, I could make a bigger one work, and I think it would work better for me. What about the bringing it outside of the house? I don't really know about that yet. In the recent weeks or the recent months, just recently, I didn't really need it and I didn't write anything in it when I brought it. So I started leaving it at home, which, well, then maybe that's just how it goes. I usually write things or schedule appointments on my phone, so I don't really need my planner outside of the house. Let me know in the comments below where you are at in your decision-making process for planning in 2019. Are you struggling the way I do? Is it just, are you going to use the same planner because that's just what works for you? Which I'm really, really happy if that is the case, because you don't really have to put that much thought into this, which takes a lot of time and also a lot of money, because I purchased 2 Jibun Techos when in reality I only am going to use 1. And now I need to try and sell the things that I purchased, which I'm not going to use. So yeah, leave a comment, tell me what you do, what you think. Are you thinking this is going to work for me? I totally love that even though this is not Cocoa Daisy, I'm still able to use my Cocoa Daisy stickers, my sticky notes, and I can't wait to explore how Cocoa Daisy works in different kinds of planners. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Until then, bye!